Whoa! That is huge. The model's huge. What is that? Look at that. Jesus Christ. It can shred shields, it can bypass shields, and it can deal a lot of damage to boot. Not to mention, it's got a beautiful texture on the bottom here, which you probably never really see either. But maybe this is good, you know, we'll put it in the equal footing against the Executor Star Destroyer we've got over here. Be in awe of the massive firepower. Here we go. There we go. That's the hardest part about Mega Star Destroyers, finding a place to put it. So big. There you go. Look at that. That is... I would not want to be anywhere near that. 2 Mega Star Destroyers with a planet to compare. Hello everybody and welcome back to another Star Wars video, and today we're looking at Yoden Mod 2019. And in today's video we're going to be looking at the Mega Star Destroyer, which, believe it or not, is actually in Yoden Mod 2019. But for people who just want to see the ship and the fights against the Executor Super Star Destroyer, I'll leave time codes in the bottom of this video right now so you can jump to those right away. But for people who want to be able to build these themselves, stick around because I'll show you how to do exactly that. So, first things first, we're going to go into single player, skirmish battles, custom maps, and I'm going to go for Sun. Sun seems to be a very stable map that doesn't necessarily crash, which is really good for us right now. So, starting credits is 300,000. I'll explain that in just a moment, and allow heroes. So the reason we want all of those credits is simply because it takes a lot of cash to be able to get to the Mega Star Destroyer. Not only do you have to tech up to tech level 5 on your space station, you have to build another expensive ship, which that can build the Mega Star Destroyer. So it's not that straightforward. But I'll show you exactly what ship you need and how to get it. Alrighty, so we're going to be wanting to tech up to tech level 5, which does take a little while. So it does take a little while to get to tech level 5, which is needed for the Mega Star Destroyer. Here we've just finished tech level 2, but of course tech level 3 takes a lot longer, and we're in double time as well, so adds more to the waiting time, of course. And it's difficult too because you have to run off like 30 pop cap, and I think the Mega Star Destroyer takes 8. So you need to make sure not to go over that to even be able to build it in the first place. Actually, no, I think it's 12 because you have to build the thing before it as well. So a bit stressful. But another thing I like about this map, Sun, as well, is that you've got, apart from this horrendous, massive sun model in the middle of the map here, which is just huge and kind of obnoxious, is that you've got these space stations here that are protecting these 2 asteroids, which you have to go into either destroy or cap, so you can protect your asteroids in that center piece, which I think is quite interesting. I quite like it. But anyway, moving on to tech level 4. Whilst I'm also teching up to tech level 4, it might be a good thing to build your heroes as well. Mostly because when you get to tech level 5, there's just too many things to build and it just fills up the bar and you can't see everything. But there's been plenty of times where I have reached tech level 5 and was like, oh, well, there's hardly anything to build. This sucks. But in fact, all the good stuff is just hidden away. I just need to build some of the one-time heroes to free up some space. So if you're wondering about that, well, there you go. So I've also put the AI on easy because they will get pretty aggressive because I don't want to be building anything. I want to keep my frames and get to tech level 5 as soon as possible. And an easy AI will not cause too much trouble. What on earth is that? Is that like a Nebulon B 4 times? Calrissian Nebulon B frigate. Wow. I love this mod. Alrighty. So let's build these next 2 heroes. Just defend our space station, really. Okay, we are back and we have just teched up to tech level 5. And out of all of these heroes, we've got a lot of things that you get from tech level 5. It is this that we need. Vader SSD Executor. Not to be mistaken with the standard Darth Vader that you get in Tech Level 1. This is quite important, and you're probably wondering, well, that's not the Mega Star Destroyer, Charlie. What are you talking about? This is just an Executor SSD that is clearly not a correct size, and you'd be right in thinking that. But when you click on it, you might notice something different. He actually is able to build from this specific ship. And what you can build on it is really quite surprising. So you've got some really cool stuff like the 818 TIE Interceptor Squadron. You've got the Admiral Motti SSD. You have the Implaceable SSD. Nemesis Super Star Destroyer. Another Executor, because of course you can build another Executor via another Executor. The Vigenza SSD, which is obviously just a Vengeance SSD. I don't know why it's named that. You've got the Eclipse class Star Destroyer, the Sovereign SSD, and the Eclipse 2 class Star Destroyer, and the Imperium SSD, which is really interesting. I'll do a separate video on that later on in the week. If you want that, let me know in the comments down below, guys. I read all of them. And then we've got the Lucahult Destructor, which I have no clue what it is. Starforge Battle Station, which is nuts. From an Executor, by the way, not a space station. You've got the Sith Battle Cruiser. You've got the Sith Starforge Destructor. I don't know what the difference is there. And then we come to what exactly we need. The Supremacy SSD. So we can go ahead and click that and build that. The last one, which is the most expensive one, the Starkiller Base. We'll do another video on that one as well. So again, if you want a video like that, where it goes against a Death Star 2, let me know. I can probably put that map together for all of you to enjoy. But for now, we're going to be focusing on the Supremacy Mega Star Destroyer. I don't know why it's called SSD, because it's technically an MSD, I think. So, I'm not sure about that. But, let's have a look at this massive ship. Whoa! That is huge. The model's huge. What is that? Look at that. Jesus Christ. So, this model is... Now that I look at it in more detail, it's really good. I really enjoy the textures that you've got going across this ship. Relatively high detail, especially when like you consider that the cityscape bit in the center is like relatively low poly. But it really makes up for the details in the shape where it's needed, you know, and the textures to boot really make it look really sharp and clean. And there it is with all of its shields and health. I don't think it gives us the stats, does it? No. Just a Mega Class Dreadnought, also known as Mega Class Star Destroyer. And the Mega Star Destroyer was a class of Star Dreadnought utilized by the First Order during a conflict with the Resistance. Very nice. So let's go ahead and have a look at the hard points before we put this massive ship into action. So on the hard points, we have like loads of ion cannon batteries. We've got hangars. We've got turbo laser batteries. More turbo laser ion cannons. And then you've got your, what is it? The proton torpedo launchers. Engines. Tons. I think you've got like about 10 hangars, which is about 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 2 in the front. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you've got about 10 hangars and about 11 engines, if I remember rightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so really hard to take this ship out, especially considering just how many hard points this thing has. Not to mention it has absolutely everything you could ask for in a ship in Empire at War. It's got the concussion missiles, which we'll get into in just a little bit. You've got the proton torpedo launchers. You've got the turbo laser batteries and the ion cannons. It can shred shields, it can bypass shields, and it can deal a lot of damage to boot. Not to mention, it's got a beautiful texture on the bottom here, which you probably never really see either. But, wow, what a sight. And I'm going to show you just how strong this exactly is. Now, I thought this was actually going to be relatively weak. On the basis that, have I been tractor beamed? Yeah, I have. I thought so. I'm going to go ahead and turn and attack the ship. I wonder if I can fire behind me. If not, I'm going to have to bring in some extra firepower to take out that tractor beam emitter. Seems like it's doing a bit of damage, but not enough. Let's get some support in. But yeah. So I thought this wouldn't actually do a lot of damage because we actually got to see the ship in skirmish mode with Eckhart, Corey, and myself. And if you're interested in that stream, I'll put that in the top right corner right now for all of you to go and click and watch. It was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, and we'll do some more Yoden Mod skirmishes a little bit later on down the line. Right, I'm going to get rid of this tractor beam, and then I'll start the fight with the space station. Alrighty, it has been disabled. Let's start moving this ship. One thing to take note with the Mega Star Destroyer, the thing is so big that when you try to move it around, it'll ignore most of your movement commands because it's considered too close to the ship. That's how big it is. Like, you think the model's big, its range of where it can move is even bigger. So it's very hard to traverse this ship in tricky areas. Because you'd think the point of movement would be either in the top center, the absolute center, or in the back center. So if I click here, that center bit would go there, or whichever way. But it doesn't. You actually end up having to use the mini map to move it. You need to be that far away from the ship. But yeah, I'm gonna start dragging this guy over, and we can see just how much damage he has. And the reason I know is quite a lot is because whilst we saw a lot of ion cannons and turbo laser batteries in the back, we have concussion missile launchers all the way across the front here, which is quite significant because it can bypass shields in Yoden Mod. For anybody that's played a lot of Thrawn's Revenge or Fall of the Republic, you have to eat through those shields before you can actually do any damage to the hull of a ship. And they don't necessarily have a shield generator hardpoint, which, you know, for example, Mega Star Destroyer does. It has two here, and even the space station, which is one right down there. And once those shield generators go down, the shields go down, you guys get the whole gist. But in Yoden Mod, the Awakening of the Rebellion, remake, and even a sub-mod for Thrawn's Revenge, these missile launchers can actually bypass shields and go straight for any hardpoint you want. That's why you can probably see that, well, we can't see it now, but we would be able to do some damage and bypass those shields on, like, the space station. But obviously the shield generator has just been destroyed, so the shields are completely gone. But there's a lot of missile launchers on this ship. A lot of missile launchers, and it makes this thing very deadly. And one thing you probably want to note with the Mega Star Destroyer is that, as I mentioned earlier, it has a lot of hard points. So it becomes very hard to kill no matter how much health it has. So you'd rather want to have a ship that has a lot of hard points with a reasonable health bar compared to a large health bar with very few hard points. Because you have to... You can fire upon a dead hard point, but it's hard to explain, but basically you can overkill a hard point, and you're wasting firepower at that point. But I'll end it there. But for people who wanted to see more of the Mega Star Destroyer, you are in luck, because I've made some custom maps for the Mega Star Destroyer. I've got two here. We're only going to be using one for this video, but it's the Mega Star Destroyer versus the Super Star Destroyer, which is the Executor SSD that we built earlier. So in advanced, we want to make sure we've got 300,000 credits. I'll explain why in a bit, and allow heroes. So we'll accept, and we'll start this game. So I put this together in the terrain editor and changed some values here and there, so on and so forth. But here we have it again. But for some reason, Yoden Mod likes to just remove half of the health of this Supremacy SSD. 60% to be exact. And I don't know why. And it does it to the Executor as well. It removes 30% of its total health also, which I just don't understand. So you can see shields are intact, but health is very, very low. But maybe this is good. You know, we'll put it in the equal footing against the... Executor Star Destroyer we've got over here. Now, what's really bad for this ship is that it's only got one shield generator, and it makes it very susceptible to having those shields ship being destroyed. But that doesn't matter, because the Mega Star Destroyer has tons of ion cannon batteries, which will strip shields anyway. So, in this case, doesn't matter at all. But what is interesting is that it causes these AoE damage in some of its firepower, which destroys multiple hardpoints in one go, which I do not understand, and I might be missing something here. But whatever those massive green shots are, I'm pretty sure avid Thrawn's Revenge players will know what they are. But it causes massive AoE damage that makes the Super Star Destroyer no match to the Mega Star Destroyer. All that Executor managed to do was take out one and almost take out the other shield generator, whilst dealing pretty much no damage to the hull. It's insane. You know, that is the Mega Star Destroyer in a nutshell. It is lethal. But that is not the only interesting thing about this particular Mega Star Destroyer compared to the one we had in Skirmish. If I click on it, as you can tell, we can build from this Mega Star Destroyer as well, because why not? It's Yoden Mod. So you can actually build another Supremacy SSD, which we saw in Skirmish, when this one is just Supremacy. It's a hero version mod. It's a hero version of the Mega Star Destroyer, which is controlled by Snoke. But if we build this one, which is relatively quick, you'll probably be able to see that it's just the exact same Mega Star Destroyer. I compared the hard points, I compared the data. It's just a non-hero model version without any command bonuses and so on and so forth. But just for the sake of it, let's put two of them together and just be in awe of the massive firepower. Here we go. There we go. That's the hardest part about Mega Star Destroyers, finding a place to put it. So big. There you go. Look at that. That is... I would not want to be anywhere near that. Two Mega Star Destroyers with a planet to compare. I'd say that's pretty... I wouldn't be surprised if that was kind of like on model. Like, kind of like to size. Maybe not, but... that is horrendous. It's insane. It's such a beautiful model too. Like, I really like the underside the most. Like, and especially the engines in the center part. Whoever modeled this did a really good job. But yeah, there you go. That's the Mega Star Destroyer. I think only 2 submods have this ship in particular. Like FOC and Yoden Mod only have like sequel trilogy ships. As much as I'm aware, I could be totally wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments down below. I would definitely like to play some sequel trilogy Empire at War mods for sure. And one other thing that the Supremacy SSD can do that the Skirmish one can't is it can build a Starkiller base, because of course it can. It's a Mega Star Destroyer, duh. So for 55,000 credits, and the Skirmish one can't. All it does is have a ability power to boost weapon power. And of course, this one is spawning fighters because I disabled it on this one. But yeah, there you go. And I'll probably show off the Starkiller base in another video. It's really interesting. I think you guys definitely want to be watching that video. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on that video. But guys, that is indeed the Mega Star Destroyer. Let me know what you think of this ship. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I know it only had like, what, 1 minute of recording time in episode 8. So, yeah, there you go. Guys, I have been Charlie. You've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.